Good evening, all. Am I audible? Can you see my screen? Good evening, very good evening. Good evening. Yes, thank you for the confirmation. Very good evening. Good evening and welcome to Machine Learning Masterclass Day 4. Can we start what all things we have completed till previous day? We have seen about Python basics and then we moved into Python data structure, about attendance link every day. By the end of the session, attendance link will be posted in the chat box. Okay, yes, Selvam, about shallow copy and deep copy. Usually, when you store some information in the memory, the things will be stored, right? For example, if you are creating a variable and storing a value inside of it, okay, so that value will be stored to that variable. So if you create a copy of thing in another new variable, okay, so in that variable, the same object will be used in the memory, just mapped to this variable also. So if you want to have another copy or a new storage in your memory, then you have to use this deep copy. So this will help you to create a deep copy, which means in the memory a new copy will be created. So for both of the variable in memory it will be different storage and you can access and use it. They have their own advantages too. You can check about that furthermore. Attendance will be posted by the end of the session, so you have to be in till the end. Watch in the chat box. I'll also tell you when the attendance is available. Please listen to the class. You can get the attendance. Okay, so we didn't complete lambda, so I think I have rescheduled that one day, because in the first day we haven't seen the Python basics. We have seen introduction. We have took some time. So most probably today we'll be seeing about conditional statement, looping statement, functions and lambda. We'll try to cover it. Okay, we'll try to do it. So starting with conditional statement and branching. Conditional statements in Python are used to control the flow of a program. Okay, they allow the program to make decision based on certain conditions. This condition you will be giving, so that will return boolean, either true or false. And if the boolean is true, then the condition will be successful. Then it will go into the condition. Okay, but when you store it, when you go with false, if it is a false condition, then the condition won't be applied, so it will be skipped. So that's what a conditional statement is. So like this, so we can have conditional statement or written with the help of if in Python. So if statement, if near to if, we will be having a condition. So if it is true, then the condition will be success, so it will go into the body of if. And if the condition is false, then it will go into the body of false, or it won't be executing the if statement. For example, how to create a basic conditional statement is, I am creating two values, two variable, a equal to 33 and b equal to 200. So if b is greater than a, which means I am giving some condition. Okay, so if the condition is true, then it is going to go inside of the body of this conditional statement, which is print this statement. If this become false, then it won't go into here. So see the syntax here. I am calling if, near to that I am giving a condition, after that I am using a colon. So usually you should go with a colon, and if you press enter, it will take you to the next line where you have to follow this indentation rule, which means to mention or to differentiate the body of if statement, it will be spaces automatically will come. So you have to leave those spaces and write what all things you write in this line, block of line, will belong to the condition of if. You can have other lines too, other statements executing. If you do something like this in the same line, you will be getting error because this doesn't belong to the condition of if. You cannot leave that empty too. So let us create a conditional statement. If 5 less than 40, okay, this condition will become true. I'll print true. So I'll run this. The answer we got true because this condition is becoming true. Okay, so I'll do this and execute this. I'm not getting any output because this became false, so it cannot go into this. You can have other line too. You can have print yes, or you can perform any mathematical task here, that is fine. So if this condition become true in this block of line, so to come out of it you have to write in this line print hello. So if I run this, I'll be getting hello alone because this is outside of that. If this become true, like a condition like this, then you can get all these results. So this is the body of if statement. It can only be executed if this condition becomes true. Okay, this is the indentation rule, and if you want you can check this too. If you go and do something like this, you will be getting error because after if statement you have to leave the indentation line. You can press your tab button, that will take you to that place. If we put 1 in which place, can you tell me? Good evening. So you can have else statement too. Previously we have done something. Can you see here when I don't have these things? If this condition is true, I'll be getting the output as true. If this condition fails, I'm not getting any output. In such situations, what you can do is you can have a else statement. Okay, so you can go with else. So else can be created only if you have a if. Okay, so else is something like if the condition fails, just go inside of this. Else print false. So the condition became false, so it went into this else statement. If this become true, then the true statement or the condition if will be executed. That is else. Not only this, you can have multiple statements too. Okay, you can have elif statement, which means after if you can have another if statement, which is called as elif. Okay, so elif is like giving another condition. If this fails, check this. If this also fails, you can have another condition too. You can create multiple conditions. You have to start with if and then go with elif. Okay, else can be there. So elif, you have to give another condition. We'll go with x equal to 30, y equal to 30. If x greater than y, print x is greater. Elif x less than y, print y is greater. Else print maybe both are equal. Can you guys tell me what will be my output here? What will be my output here if I run this? Give the answers in chat box. Good evening. Yes, else will be executed. Why? Both of these conditional statements will fail. So it will come in the hierarchical order. It will check if. So if fails, it will go into elif. Elif fails, it will go into else. Okay. So my output will be that. So if this is the condition, now what will be the output? Yes, good. Thanks for the response. Now, y is greater, right? So LF will be successful. Y is greater. If you have it, x is greater. So this is how a conditional statement work. Based on the condition, it will give you the output. Okay. So you can have another conditional also using LF. You can have other conditions and you can proceed with this. You can also have multiple conditional statements too. For example, if you are having a username, I'll just leave it empty for now. Password. Okay. Yes, Ganguly, you can use elif as many times you want. You can have it many times. One if, one else, multiple elif inside. So if I want to check both the username and password, what should I do? If user, okay, if I am having another original username or in my database, I'll call db underscore user. I'll be having some value. Okay, for example, John. So he is entering. So that is also John. And in my database, the password is ABCDE. And here also the password the user entered is ABCDE. So if user is equal to db underscore user, I'll create a bracket. What operator I should use? And password equal to double equal to check db underscore pass, then print logged in successfully, else print login failed. Logged in successfully. If I have it something else like this, login failed. Okay. And now I'll tell you how to get user input. I am just storing these things, right? Instead of that, I can get it lively from the user. To get that, what you have to do is you have to call this option input. Okay. So if I run input like this, okay, this is invalid. I'll call input here also. An empty box will be coming. Okay. So you don't know what is user, what is password, right? So you can enter things that will be used in this user, in this password. Every time you runs, that variable will be storing a new value from the input. That is empty, right? To give some placeholder, you can give inside this bracket like enter user name. And here also you can do something like enter password. So now if I run this, it is asking me to enter the username. I'll go and enter John. And the password, which is ABCDE, which is logged in successfully using the conditional statement. Fine. And this is the input for string. Every time you get it, it will be a string. If you want to get it as an integer, then or a float, you have to just convert this like this when you are calling it. Okay. It is better to do it here. So if you want it as a number to perform some task, you want to create a calculator, you can do it. You can get x equal to integer input, y equal to integer input. And then you can perform addition or subtraction or multiplication or division and then return the answer. That is possible. DB is just a variable I have created, but initially DB is a database. I am just giving for practice. Database is used to store information. Usually when you create a web application with Flask or Django or anything, the user details will be stored in a database where the data will be stored. So if the user tries to log in, it will be verifying that whether it is a correct username or password from the database. Just for representation, I have created a variable. Okay. We have seen this if, elif and else. You can also have nested if statement. So I'll tell that before that. If you want to convert this masterclass into 1 month certified internship on machine learning, you can join as an internship user. You can use this coupon code of MLMC4 and you can get it in a discounted fee of $799. The link is given in the chat box. It is available. So if you join as an internship user, you will be getting all the recordings of these videos YouTube videos, this videos, it will be a separate version which is having additional 5 projects and additional in-depth contents, source codes of projects, downloadable PPTs and files, confirmation letter when you join, and internship certification at the end, and 6 Zoom sessions. So in these Zoom sessions, we'll be having doubt clarifications in Zoom lively, weekly tasks and assignments, Kaggle competitions, and additional 5 project discussion will be happening. So if you want to join as an internship user, you can join. You will be getting all these projects which we are having. The link is given in the chat box. Nested if statement, we'll see that nested if is it is something like a if statement inside of an if statement. You can have if, else, etc. So if you come in this line, for example, this entire line will be the block of this if, right? So this, in this line I can have anything. I can create another conditional statement. I'll go with a condition like x equal to 25. If x greater than 10, print x is greater than 10. Okay, x is greater than 10. Fine. After printing that, I am having another conditional statement. If x is greater than 50, print x is greater than 50. Okay, else print x is less than 50. So this is a nested conditional statement, which means if this condition becomes successful, it will print this, and it is executing another conditional statement where it will check whether this is true. In this situation it will become false, so it will print this and directly go into this else statement and print this condition. X is greater than 10 and x is less than 50. If I am having something like this, then both of the if will be executed. You can have a else here also, a else for this if statement. I hope you are getting. Print x is less than 10. Just that. I'll add the list of those additional 5 projects in the next class. I don't have that slides right now. I'll have it in the next class. Clear? Why this is printing? Because this condition entirely became failed. In some complex places we may need to use, not only this is, it is not that much simple. If you are building a complex application, you may need to go inside, like if this is successful, then go into this, then you may need to proceed something like that in further places. Practically when you apply, you can get it. Okay, so I'll tell you what is the difference between elif and nested if. Okay, so yeah. So if I am having a if, elif and else, okay, listen, if, elif and else, 3 things. Okay, if statement, here another elif statement, I am having something and else. So in these 3, if I am having a condition, either if runs or elif runs or else run. Only these 3 can run. Apart from that, you cannot have anything else. For example, if I am having 2 elif like this, okay, some condition here, 2 greater than 1 or 3 less than 4. I am having 2 conditions here. If is successful, then elif, this elif and else will be neglected. Okay. If this is failed and if this elif is successful, then the rest of these 2 will be neglected. Okay. So instead of I am creating like this, so if I am having like this, for example, I'll create elif x greater than, okay, I'll create elif x less than 50. Now if I run this, tell me what will be the expected output. X is less than 50. See here in this condition 25. x is greater than 10. But can you tell me x is less than 50, whether it is less than 50? Yes, right? Why I am not getting this result here? Can you understand what is the difference now? What is the need of conditional or nested if? If any one among these is successful, then the rest of the things below will be neglected. That's how a conditional statement works. But in this situation, I want to perform these things. If this is successful, then go into this. Can you get this output? Can you understand the concept? Pooja, did you got it? Is it clear? Yes? Yapik, you have asked for book, right? I think it is Hands-on Machine Learning with Scikit-learn, Kensar, TerraFlow. This book, see this cover photo. This book will be good if you want to start as a beginner. You will be having the concepts. I think it is having from Python itself, which I have followed too. It will have all the complex tasks also. Please watch this book. Okay, some people are asking for repeat once again. I am not moving with the timetable because of the doubts. I cannot just skip, right? I can go in a hurry to complete the portions, but it is not useful. So I am taking the time. I'll manage it. If we can have a 31st day also. That will be fine. I'll explain once again. Okay. So this is a nested if statement. If you want, I can go and print this line also, or a comment. To add a comment, you can use hash. So this is a comment. Okay. So this is where the nested if starting, and this is where the nested if is ending. Okay. So this is the nested if, which means if this condition is successful, okay, it will go into the body of if, and this else or any elif below this will be neglected. Okay. And once this is successful, in this same line it will come into this if statement. If this if is true, then it will execute this, or else it will go into the else. That's how it will work. Okay. Here the value of x is 250, which means if x is greater than 10, yes, it will print x is greater than 10. And then if x is greater than 50, yes, so print x is greater than 50, the rest of the things is neglected. So that is what I am getting here. Yes, Pooja, if one condition is executed, then the rest of the statement conditions below will be avoided. That's why we are moving with that. So, but if you have something like this, if and directly giving elif and else, either one will be successful. For example, we'll give something like which is greater than 10 and greater than 50. 250 is greater than 10. But can you tell me whether it is less than 50? No, right? It is greater than 50 also. But why am I not getting that? Why am I not getting that? Because if I have a conditional statement, only one will be executed. And the rest, if it is successful, then the rest of the things will be neglected. Okay. I hope it will be clear. So that's all with nested if statement, and we have a thing which is called as pass. Okay. So pass is something like if I'm see here, for example, I have created and leave it empty. Okay. Just for example, I want to show you example. I cannot have this empty because it will tell you error. Okay. In this places you can use pass to avoid that. Nothing will happen in that place. If this condition is even executed, nothing will be printed. It is just for passing. Okay, so if you have it, it is just going to go through that. Okay, because we are getting integer, we cannot enter a string. It's not possible. In many places you may need to use these. In complex places we may use conditional statements like that, one after other. So that's why, for example, I am just giving you these things. Based on the thing which you are going to perform, you have to proceed with that. So moving with the next one. So internship link is available in chat box. It is pinned. If you want, please join. I hope a lot of questions will come on these loops also. We'll start with looping statements. In loop we have two types, which is for loop and while loop. When you go with for loop, it is mentioned with the help of for. Okay, so for loop in Python are used to iterate over a sequence. What is a sequence? What is a sequence? Book name, just scroll back below this YouTube video, it is available. I have shown you just before, see that. It is hands-on machine learning with scikit-learn, Keras and TensorFlow. Hands-on machine learning. So I am not suggesting you to just buy it. If you want, you can buy, you can search for the PDF versions. If it's online available, you can try that too before buying it. So for loop in Python is used to iterate over a sequence. Sequence is like list, tuple, string, okay, and perform a specific action for each of the item. Okay, for on each of the item you can perform some things, and even strings are also an iterable object that contains a sequence of characters. So to create a for loop, good question. Do we have arrays in Python? 2 days back we have seen string, list, tuple, they comes under array. List is an array, collection of items. For loop, to create a for loop you will be giving for, okay, and this here you are giving something, right, like x or something. This is a new variable which you are going to assign, which is not available previously. You have to pass a new variable and you have to call this in. So this is the format for a new variable name. In, you have to pass a sequence here. It can be a string, it can be a list passed in from a variable like fruits, okay, and then I'm printing x. Okay, so I'll show you. I'll create a variable name equal to banana. Okay, so this is a string I'm going to use for a new variable n, in which I'm going to loop over name. I'll print n. Okay, so now if I run this, I'll be getting an output like this, which is b, a, n, and a. For example, I'll print some dashed line like this. So now if I run it, can you see what is happening is, this is a sequence, right? For loop, what it will do is, this new variable, it will go and pick one by one element. So first time the value of n, when I am printing, the value will be b, and then it is printing the dashed line. Okay, see the indentation, like conditional statement, it is inside of this body of for loop. Once it is done this task, it will go once again and take the value which is a. So it is printing a and dashed line, and then taking n and dashed line, so on. So we will be getting a for loop ends when it reaches the last element. Okay, so it will check whether it is the last item in that sequence. So if the sequence end, my output is gone. Can you tell me, if you understand this concept, can you tell me what will be my output here if I run this command? What will be the output? One by one it will take till it reaches the end. Range, please wait. Selvam, I will be showing you once we complete the basics of for loop. I will be showing you range. Please wait. What will be the output now? Sometimes people used to do this mistake. They'll call this new variable. No, they'll be printing name, which means 6 times they'll be getting banana. How many times the letters are there? Can you understand? Every time the value of n will be changing, but you are printing name, right? So 6 times you will be getting banana. Okay? That's how a loop works. So the value is assigned in the new variable you are calling. So if you want that, you have to go and call n. So that will be printed like this. And instead of this, you can have a list also, which is a collection of items, right? So we can have 1, 2, 3, 4 or any other string, and that will be printed the same way. You can perform some tasks too. For example, okay, x equal to, and I think one person have asked how to find the length of it without using len, right? So for doing that task, what you can do is, for example, string, or we'll go with name equal to banana. Okay, so L is the variable which is going to be 0 at first. Okay, so I want to count how much letters inside of it. Okay, so every time this loop runs, what I'm going to do is L plus equal to 1. So first time the loop runs, the value of L gets added with 1. Next time the value of L gets added, so value become 2. So how many times this loop runs, that will be the length of it. Once it is completed, in outside of this for loop, once it is ended, I will be printing the value of L. So the value of L is 6, which means the length of it is 6. For S in name, okay, you won't be getting anything because you don't have n now. If you want S, you can pass S here, then the value of S will be printed, which is banana, which is going to loop over this string. It prints 6 times because the length of this, can you understand how a for loop works? It is going and taking one by one element. The length of this is 6. First time the value will be B. A for loop ends only when it reaches the last element, which is A. So totally how many element you have inside? You will be getting that. Here, what is the thing you are giving? That will be the new variable. For example, if I am going with capital N, the value will be stored in capital N. So capital N will carry every element, which is B, A, N, A, N, A, and so on. Understood? You can iterate over this too. And you can have a simple thing which is called as break. Okay, break is something like, tell me guys, when will a for loop ends? A for loop ends only when it reaches the last element, right, in a sequence. But if you want to break or stop it in between, you can use this command break. Okay, so I'll show you. For example, I'm having a list. Okay, my list equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For loop is useful in many places. We can automate a lot of things. You just need to wait for any variable. For x in my list, print x, my output will be 1 to 9. Okay, now I want to stop when it reaches 5, which means I can do a condition here. If x is equal to 5, at that time I want to use this break, which will terminate the loop. So if I run this, can you see I'm getting the output till 5, because first time the loop runs, it will print the value. So value 1, whether 1 is equal to 5, no, the condition fails. So it will go back to the loop. Once again the x value will be 2. It will print x and check 2 equal to 5. No, it will go. So it will keep on running. When it reaches 5, x value is 5 now, it is printed. And now it is checking whether 5 is equal to 5. Yes, so the condition became true. So it is going into the break statement, and the break will be applied so that the loop will be terminated. Clear about break statement? Yes, when break is applied, the loop exit and show. Good. Similarly, you have something known as continue. So continue is something like before printing it, you can use this continue. For example, see here, continue is used to skip. Okay, if continue is applied, then the rest of the body of the for loop won't be executed. It will be redirected to the next loop. Okay, next time the loop will start running. Do you understand? Do you understand? Continue. Okay, if I am having continue, if continue is applied, then the condition, the rest of the body of for loop won't be executed. It will be redirected to take the next element. Okay, it's like redirecting to take the next element. So if I want to do, for example, if I want to skip banana alone, then before printing, I have to check. Why? Because after printing, what is the use? If you continue it, what is the use of it? So before printing it, I am giving a condition statement. If x is equal to banana, so first time apple, banana not equal, so it will print x. And then it goes again, the value is banana now, both are equal. So continue will be applied, so it can't come below. It will be redirected to take the next element, which will be orange. So now orange is not equal to banana, so print orange. Orange will be printed. For example, here if I want to skip the value 5, if x is equal to 5, I'll go and call continue. Okay, here I'll print outside of this conditional statement, I'll print the value x. So now in my output the value 5 won't be available. So because when 5 is applied, I'll just print some command, continue is applied. Can you see it is coming into the conditional statement? Continue is applied, continue, jump backs to the next element and taking the next element. Coming to range, someone has asked and interested about range. I'll teach you. Range is something like, can we start with range? Can I get thumbs up from chat box? Emoji. In range you have three different options. I'll go from the base. Range is something like you can get values in that range, mathematical values. Without typing from 1 to 9, you can get it directly using this range option. So without in this for loop, if I go and call range of 10, can you see it? It is giving starting from 0 automatically and giving till 10. But if you use it in a loop, then what will happen is you will be getting till 9. Do you remember in string slicing, the last or the ending index one step before it given, right? The same task applied here also. If you have 10, it will give till 9. You can directly convert this into a list also. See here, list of range 10. My output will be a list which is having from 0 till 9. Understood? If I want 10 also, I have to go with 11. Then my list will have from 0 till 10. So if I pass only one condition here or one parameter here, which means it is the ending number. Okay, so if you want, automatically it will start from 0. So if you want to start it from any other number, I can give another thing like 4, 11. My output will be starting from 4 and ending till 10. Okay, starting from 4 and ending till 10. If you want, you can go and have like 3. So starting from 3 and ending till 10. So we'll go with 101. So what will be my output? So everything will be there. Okay, till 100. Okay, so we are having till 100. So you can have step also. So the next one is step, which means if you go with 2 step, then see here, initially my result was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I have 2 step, then output will be 3, then 5, then 7. Do you understand what is step? And what is the last possible number that will be obtained here? So you can have 3 step, which means it will go from 3, 6, 9, 12. You can go with 7 step, which will add 7 and will be the output for the next 3, then 10, then 17, then so on. This is the use of range. You can directly call it in a for loop without having a list. For x in range 11, print x. So my output will be starting from 0 till 10. So I can also start from 3 and print till that. Okay, Selvam, if you are having 2, 5, first time the condition applies, it will go out of it. If you have duplicates, if the condition is applied, then the break will be applied, then it will come out of it. That's what will happen, Selvam. Even though you have duplicates, when you get the first entry, that will be the time to kick out of it, so it will come out of it. You can have step also. So that's all with range. And now seeing about another thing, which is nested for loop. A for loop inside of a for loop, this is going to be tricky. I'll show you with example, this common example which I'll be using for a long time. So the adjective here I'm having is red, big and tasty. Fruit is apple, strawberry and any other fruit in red color, cherry. So now listen carefully. For x in adjective, print x. So my value will be red, big and tasty. So inside of this for loop, okay, if I am having another for loop for y in fruit, print y. So if I run this, what will happen is, you can see red is printed, it will print. Okay, now the value of x is red. When will the value of x changes? Only when the condition is fully applied, then only the value of x changes, which means it is going into another for loop. So now the loop is inside of y. So y starts from apple, it will be printing apple. Then y value will be strawberry. Then y value will be cherry. So now the for loop, this for loop is ended. So it will go back into x again. So the value of x will be big. So once again it will print big, and then it is coming once again into this for loop. It will take apple, strawberry and cherry. Once this is done, this for loop ends once again, and then it runs back. Okay, so here the value of x is now going to be tasty. So now once again this loop starts. So apple, strawberry and cherry. So instead of doing that, you can get something nicely like this, x comma y. So you will be getting like red apple, red strawberry, red cherry. The value of x, this loop is the main loop, but once it comes into any other loop, it can go and take the next element only if this entire thing is successful or completed. Is it clear? About nested loop, nested for loop. Yes, you can go with tuple set, dictionary too. Yes, dictionary is also possible. You can call the items and print it, or keys or values that will return a list, right? You can use it. So going with the next loop, which is while loop. I think time will permit only to complete while loop. We'll see while loop today. So functions and lambda will be seen in next class. Sorry for I'm not making up with the agenda. We are taking some time because we are clarifying doubts in between. So I cannot run to complete it. I'll take time. If we want, we'll have an extra class too by the end. So going into while loop. So with the while loop, we can execute a set of statements as long as a condition is true. The loop, or a difference between a for loop and while loop, is a for loop end only when the last statement is applied. So when the last is achieved, the loop will end. Okay, but a while loop will be running, which will be keep on running only when the condition is become false, which means we will be having a condition near this while statement. This is how you will create a while loop. This is the body of while loop. I am storing x equal to 1 and I am printing x and adding x with 1. First time the value of x is 1, so it is printed, and now the value gets added with 1, so the value is 2 now. Once the loop runs, it will check this condition once again. Checks for 2 is less than 10. No. Print and then add with 1. 3 is less than 10. So it will be keep on going. At one point of time, the value of x will become 10. Now they are not less. Now this condition will become false. So this will be terminated. So a while loop terminates only when the condition is failing. Okay. So if I have something like this, while true, print hello. Here the condition is true all the time. It is not going to get altered. This is going to just corrupt your machine. See here, it is going to just keep on printing hello. Can you see it, how much it is printing? It is going to not stop. At one point of time your kernel will dead. It is printing infinitely, right? So you have to manually stop it. Don't run this. If you are creating a while loop, you need to have a place where it fails or it become false. For example, x equal to 10 or 1 while x less than 10, print x. Now also if I run it, it is just going to print infinite numbers. Why? Because this condition is not failing. The x value is 1 always. I am not doing anything with x. So I need to do something like x plus equal to 1. So at one point of time the condition will fail. After 9 the condition will become failed. So in some places you can use while loop like this by creating a condition. For loop ends when it reaches the last, but a while loop will keep on running only when it reaches or when it applies this failure. Every time it will check the condition. Here also you can have break statement. Instead of having this condition, you can have another condition. So if something is achieved, you can break it or come out of it. Like you can check if x is equal to 4, break. So this break will be applied to come out of the loop. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, when it reaches 4, break will be applied. Okay, if statement is for checking the condition, where while statement will help you to check the condition and also run a loop parallelly based on that condition. Similarly, you can also have continue. So if you want to skip some part, you can continue it. If it reaches 4, continue. So at one point of time, it will reaches. Okay. So can you see why I am getting this? Because if you want, you have to check it and then print it. You can use this button to stop it, interrupt it in between. Okay. Here you can have a else statement. You can try with a control C. It is useful. In command line interface, I haven't used control C, control plus C. So you can have while and else. Can you see what is happening? When the loop ends, it will reach the else statement. So when this condition is break, okay, see here, when the condition near this while loop is ending, it will go into the else statement. Here what I am doing is I'll have if x is equal to 3, break, I am breaking it. Now can you see the else is not executed. Can you understand why? So else will be executed only when the while loop is coming out through this condition near to it. If you use a break statement, if it comes out of that, then the else won't be executed. I remove this line. If I run this, my else will also be executed. That is the difference and the use of else. So we'll see about functions and rest of the things in tomorrow's class. Thanks for watching. So if you want, you can join as an internship user. The link is given in chat and description. Use this coupon code of MLMC4 and you can get it in a discounted fee of $799, and you will be getting all this in the internship. You will be getting PDFs, downloadables, source codes, certification by the end, additional 5 project in-depth contents and Zoom sessions. And in Zoom sessions we will be having doubt clarification, weekly task and assignment, Kaggle competition analysis, and project discussions. So the link is given in chat box and description. Attendance link is also available in chat. Use it. So we'll see in tomorrow's class. Thank you and good night.